Hey everyone, Ben again. I decided it's Saturday morning, June 2020, and I decided I would try and go out and hit up the yard sales. And I don't even know what's out. I didn't find anything online. I didn't really look too closely, but sometimes on a Saturday morning, I'll wake up, just put on my clothes, maybe grab a coffee or something, and drive around the neighborhood. I live in an area where there's a lot of houses, a lot of townhouses, middle class people, and so sometimes you don't really have to look that hard and just find something. And I don't know if today we're going to come home with a big stack of games, or we're going to drive around for a couple hours and find nothing. So maybe this video won't be very long, but we'll find out soon. So anyway, I'll see you guys later after I find or don't find anything. Holy crap. Great score. I was walking around here. I asked some people if they had video games. They said no. And then the wife said, look in the attic. Don't we have that Nintendo box? Go up there. And he went up there. And I said, I'll give you $50 for the box. I don't even know what's in here, but there's an N64, there's an SNES, some games, some boxes. Great score. We'll break this down a little bit later. Hey everybody, it's the next morning. So yesterday I was recording some of the stuff that you saw before on Saturday morning, which is usually when I go out yard sailing. Yesterday I took a little break, but I spent a little time just organizing things, going through some stuff, and I thought I'd do a little recap today. It was a really interesting day. I identified one, sort of multi-family yard sale type thing, and I barely found anything there, but then I made a really big score, so I'll walk you guys through that. I think one thing that you can learn from this video if you are new to game collecting is that it's kind of a numbers game. This is going to be really good, and I had a really good score yesterday, but you're not always going to find that, and had I turned, this is the type of thing of, had I turned left instead of gone right, I might not have found anything. So let's see what we got here, and I'll show you guys what I have. So before I really get into it, when I started early, this is nothing special here. These were just a few games I found at the first series of yard sales. Whoops. My selfie stick is swerving a little bit. Nothing special, really just games to mostly trade. I might keep the Sammy Sosa because I think it's weird and kind of cool. I like that weird stuff, and this is some junky hookups, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But yeah, I do still recommend picking this stuff up. Like, for example, obviously for me, Cookie Monsters, Counting Carnival is not exactly the most exciting video game, but you can trade that or maybe sell it on eBay and get a few bucks and use it towards something. I paid, I think, $3.50 for these games. And if I can turn that into maybe one quality game that I need, that would be great. But what really happened that was awesome, and I showed you the bin, was I went to, and here's the bin, I went to, on my way back to my home, I found just another series of yard sales, and I walked up to some people and I said, hey, do you guys have any video games? And they said no, which they always say, usually at first. They say, no, we don't have any video games. And I said, okay, well, thanks. I hope you guys, have good luck and have a great day. I always try to be super nice to people. And then the wife of the husband says, wait a second, don't you have that box of Nintendo stuff in the attic? And he's like, I don't know, where would it be? And she goes, well, it's in there, just look for that box. So he goes in for like 5 or 10 minutes, and he walks out with this plastic bin filled with games. And I saw that it had, what I saw really was the N64, a couple controllers in this, and just some random boxes. And I just straight up, said to them, like, well, how much do you want? Well, we don't know. We just need to get rid of it. Make us an offer. I said, how about $50? And they said, sure. It was like, and it was great. They seemed very happy to get rid of the stuff. So I'm happy to take it. And as for those of you who collect for a while, you might notice this is probably worth a little bit more than $50. So let's walk through it real quick. And and I'll tell you about maybe some of the stuff I have, what I'm going to do with it, etc. So up here, you can see we've got a bunch of complete in-box N64 games. Everything was kind of strewn apart. Like, you could see the boxes and the games were sort of separated. I wasn't sure what was actually complete or what was a box or whatever. And as it turns out, all these N64 games I'm going to show you were actually all together. So we have Cruisin' World, which I had loose already. Cruisin' USA, I also had loose already. San Francisco Rush 2049, which I don't think I have at all on N64. So that's a new one to the collection. So even I didn't even have the loose cart. The Cruisin' games, now those two games, I'll take my loose ones and I will trade them or sell them or something, because they could probably turn into something I want. Really happy to have a complete in-box GoldenEye. I find tons of copies of GoldenEye in the wild, but I don't usually find them complete in box, so I'm happy to add that to collection. Same thing for Shadows of the Empire. I didn't have that complete in box. I actually think this game is interesting, but not all that good to come back to, but certainly happy to have it. Hot Wheels Turbo Racing, I don't think I have this game at all, so that's a good one to add. Same for F1 World Grand Prix. I think this is pretty common, but yeah, I'll definitely take it. This is probably, for me personally, probably my favorite find, Star Fox 64. This is one of my all-time favorite games. I love this game, and really happy to have it complete in box. This is the Rumble Pack edition. So I think there's a couple versions. There might be a slimmer one that doesn't have the Rumble Pack. The Rumble Pack wasn't actually in here, but I know I have the Rumble Pack, so I'll make this complete. This is pretty pricey, actually, when you complete it, so I'm pretty happy. I'm really happy about that. Perfect Dark here. I may have this complete already. I'm not really sure. I definitely have. I find loose carts of this all the time. It was there were a ton of these made. Over here, Wavery 64. I actually already had this complete in box. So if I'll have to compare which one I want to keep, but if you're looking for this, please hit me up. Maybe we can make a trade or something. I'm going to post a link to my Instagram in the comments. That's probably a good way to reach out to me. Top Gear Rally, I don't think I had this at all. Probably nothing special, but glad to have that. As I'm doing more research, this might be the best thing in the box that I found. So actually, the Game Boy is not in here. It was just the box for this Game Boy Pocket Extreme Green Edition. And I don't know I'm not sure how much the box is actually worth. I don't have the Game Boy Pocket right now. I'm sort of hunting for this system. I don't think they're as easy to find as a typical Game Boy Pocket, but I don't think they're so rare that I can't pick one up off eBay or maybe at a game store or something like that. But the box is nowhere to be seen. I see one on eBay and they're asking $400 now. I'm very careful. I mean, I don't know. Just because they're asking $400 doesn't mean it's worth $400. It could be worth half or less than half of that. And they, just because they say, give me this much for a box doesn't mean that's what it's worth. That's one other thing I'll say is that the best thing to determine what the value of something is to see what it sells for, not what people list it for. Because people can list anything for anything. You want to see what it actually sells for. So yeah, this was a great pickup. I could not believe how fortunate I was to get this box. So now I'm on the hunt for this Extreme Green Game Boy Color. If you happen to have one that you're looking to get rid of and it's in decent shape, doesn't have to be perfect, but obviously I want the battery cover and it should work and everything like that. Please hit me up. I hope we can make a trade. That would be awesome. Weirdly enough, there was no Sega stuff, but one of these like black Dreamcast VMUs. I don't know if I have a black one, so that was cool. Weirdly enough, a Nintendo 64 RF switch adapter box. I don't know why you keep this box. It's probably sort of hard to find. I don't really know. I don't care that much about it. I probably have the RF switch somewhere in my bag of hookups for N64. I keep all my connections together. But I'll try and complete that. I don't really think it's worth that much money, but I think it's kind of neat, and I'll put it on the shelf. There were 3 loose SNES games. I have all of these games already. Donkey Kong Country 3, Donkey Kong Country, and Super Mario Kart. All these are pretty good trade bait. Obviously, people like these games, and they're all in pretty good shape. I should mention also, I had to take some. This was all really kind of dirty when I got it out of the box, so I'll show the systems in a bit, but I use these Windex electronics wipes, and they really did a great job. Anyway, all of these here, I have Donkey Kong Country Complete actually, so that's just another one that'll get traded out. Game Boy games, none of the games were in here, just the boxes, but I have several of the games loose. So I had Super RC Pro-Am loose. I didn't have this, but I went on eBay afterwards and I found a copy pretty cheap. You know, with these types of things, you might expect, you know, Game Boy boxes are pretty hard to find. You know, most of them were tossed. But completing this is really good. F1 Race I had multiple copies of, very common game, pretty good game actually. I'd highly recommend this, and it's not very expensive. One of those games that I would definitely, if you're into Game Boy games, I'd pick this one up. Lost World, I actually had this cart. I was surprised I had this cart. I didn't think I had this cart, but I did, so I completed this. And Donkey Kong Land 2 Player's Choice Edition, I didn't have the cart. I thought I did. I had Donkey Kong Land 3. So I also went on eBay, and I think I paid $4 plus shipping for a cart, so I can complete that. I guess I could hunt for it, but it's really not that expensive, so I figured I'd just go on eBay and pick it up. Lastly, the systems and controllers. You may have seen that I had a generic SNES controller over there. I'll probably just trade that. I don't really like those controllers. I need to test it. I need to test these systems too, but I assume they work or I can fix them up. Let's get in a little closer. So probably this SNES probably looks all right. You know, like you see this and you say, well, it looks like, you know, just a used SNES, but in decent shape. But this thing, when I got it out of the box, was grimy. These little power buttons, you know, these are supposed to be kind of purple. And you can see they're a little faded, but they were like brown when I got them out of the box. But I cleaned them up nice, and they have good action. They feel good. So I'm pretty sure the system's going to work fine. But I'm going to test it today. No reason to assume it won't work. These things are tanks. Same with the N64. Wasn't quite as dirty. Unfortunately, no expansion pack, just the jumper pack, but that's okay. I have a lot of N64s. Again, the power switches and the reset buttons seem to work fine. Reset buttons, by the way, if you're looking to learn repairs, this is a very easy fix, you know, just to fix these reset buttons. They get stuck all the time. You know, if you're getting into collecting, you're gonna go for N64 stuff, that's a good thing to learn how to fix because it's gonna be broken a lot. 2 N64 controllers. What I'll probably do is I'll probably take the gray one and bundle it with the system and try and trade or sell it because I just don't need any more N64s. Stick is really nice. Feels perfect actually. I was surprised because the thing was sitting in this box so long. The green one, the stick feels even better. I'll probably keep this controller. N64 controllers I tend to hoard just because getting ones with nice tight sticks is not always easy to find. So I'm going to keep that probably. And then sort of a discolored SNES controller. Hard to see in the picture, but it's a little yellowed. Assuming it works, I'll probably bundle it with the system and trade it. So that's it for the pickups this week at the yard sale. I will be putting a lot of this up on eBay or trading locally with people to try and pick up some new stuff. It was a super good haul. But it wasn't necessarily gonna be. I mean, I thought I was on my way back to my house when I found this. I was sort of saying, well, I found a few Wii games and I've been out for 45 minutes and I don't see anything, and I'm gonna hit up maybe 1 or 2 more community sales and then I'll head home. And then I found this. And so I'm super happy, but who knows, next weekend if I go out, I might not find anything. So thanks again for joining me for this. As always, please make sure if you're enjoying these videos to hit the like button or subscribe to the channel. That helps me out. Feel free to reach out, leave comments. If you have any questions about things I should put into future videos or comments on this stuff, please don't hesitate. I tend to interact with everything. I don't have a big channel, so I like to interact with people. And that's it. Take care and be safe out there. Bye-bye.